напряг. Настюля. Молодцы. Сделай, сделай. Да, хорошо, прости. Последний. Последний диагональчик, как девочка. Да? Подобрыш, последний. Так в конце хорошо. Выигрыш будет. Надо повторить. Олег, кстати, в голову. Да, повторим, Олег, в голову.
Дальше можно?
Конечно. Вдохнули? Да, хорошо. Людочка, делай, по возможности, конечно, делай. Все-таки первый так уже не очень удобно, так что, если что,
уже когда это делали.
Прости.
Когда слишком много некуда.
Да, я понимаю, сейчас видел, я видел.
Я не знаю, как
Знаешь что, помнишь, мы захват сделали немножко другой захват? Вот мы делаем немножко такой, нет, можно оставить, можно оставить. Удобнее просто, чтобы нога вот так прошла. Нам и оп, и лам.
Настя, ты сама сейчас очень хорошо стоишь. Сторону высоко, сама сейчас
Хорошо, хорошо. Концовочку будем брать? Подыбрышечки. Подыбрышечки кто-нибудь сделает?
тоже руки доводяйте, меняйте,
Я не помню, я прихожу вот так всегда, да?
по-моему, приходим.
Давай, Юлька, можно ЖТ, так.
Дальше ручки вперед. Вот играть и остаться
Hey.
Hello, thank you very much for that. So we're live on the BBC News page inside the Royal Opera House, and you've just been watching Xander Parish practice the Grand Pas for Paquita. So can you give us an idea of the amount of training it takes to get to where you are now and ready for the performance on the 8th of August?
Okay, well, I started dancing when I was 8 years old.
Right.
Now I'm 31, so a lot of work.
Yeah, and you've had quite a unique career. You started at the Royal Ballet, and now you're with the Mariinsky Ballet in St. Petersburg. So could you just tell us a bit how that all came about and how come you're in Russia now?
Okay, so I'm from Hull. I left Hull when I was 11, went to Royal Ballet School in London, here. I trained Royal Ballet School until I was 19,
right.
and then I joined the Royal Ballet Company in this building here, Royal Opera House in London. Then when I was 23, a guest teacher came from Russia to here, to this studio.
Right.
And this guy offered me the chance to come to Russia and dance, because he became director of Mariinsky Ballet not long after I met him. And he invited me to come to Russia, so I took him up on the offer.
Oh, right, okay. And what I should say is we've got a live audience watching, so please send in any of your questions and comments. We've already had a few come in.
Great.
Let me see here. So Peter says thank you. Christopher's saying wow, fabulous.
Nice.
We've got Raymond saying lovely. Anna's loving every minute of it, and Christine says she's loved watching the rehearsal.
Thank you for watching. Nice.
So was it a bit of a culture shock moving from England to Russia?
It was a weather shock more than a culture shock. I mean, when I arrived in Russia, I went there when I was in the winter of 2010, and it was like snow up to your knees and minus 15 on a warm day.
Oh, wow.
So it was a bit different to what I'm used to over here.
So you'd say the weather was the most hardest thing to get over?
Yes, that, and obviously it's language as well. I didn't speak any Russian at all.
You didn't speak any Russian at all?
Not a word, but pretty much.
And how's your Russian now?
It's getting better. It's not perfect. But
Can you say hello to our audience?
Здравствуйте, очень приятно.
Sounded pretty good to me. So can you explain a bit of the difference between the English style of ballet and the Russian style of ballet?
It's basically the different styles of ballet are basically shaped by choreography, by different ballets.
Right.
The Mariinsky Theatre specialises in classical repertoire, Swan Lake, Nutcracker, Beauty, the things that were actually made in the Mariinsky by Tchaikovsky and Pettifer years ago, well, obviously not together, but years ago. And in Royal Ballet, the style was formed by Sir Frederick Ashton. And so the repertoire is what shapes a company's style. And so the main difference is from choreography.
Right.
For sure.
Okay. And so what's your favourite part you've ever done?
I've had a lot of good parts to dance. I think Romeo and Juliet's one of my favourites.
And why?
In Shakespeare, I studied it in school, so I know it pretty well.
Right. Suzanne asks, who inspires you?
Who inspires me? Many of my colleagues, all these guys. Every day I get to dance alongside some of the best dancers in the world, and I'm so privileged to be alongside them and watch them. And all these guys, this guy down here, Timur Askerov, Matvienko, my partner, they're all great dancers and great people. I love dancing alongside them, and I can learn from them as well.
Yeah.
And it's a great privilege to dance with such talent around you. It's a great privilege.
Well, thank you very much, Susan, for that question. We've had another one come in. Silvatana is saying, so who are the trainers? Who are the people coaching you right now?
My coach over here on his knee is Igor Petrov.
Right.
And this Ella Tarasova is my partner's coach. And so they've been coaching me today.
Could you give us a sense of the day in the life? How many classes do you take? How long are rehearsals?
So usually we start our day every day with ballet class in the morning. We have 1 hour class in Mariinsky. We have, and back in the Mariinsky Theatre, we have 4 classes, 2 for girls, 2 for guys, about 60 in each class. So quite full classes. And then we go on to rehearsals from 12 o'clock until whenever. It can be until 10 p.m. if they want us to.
It's a very long day.
Yeah, it can be a very long day.
Do you have to do anything outside of your rehearsals and classroom? As a male, you're often lifting the female dancers.
I do a lot of weights and cycling, especially, like spinning, to try and keep my stamina up and my legs strong. It's very useful. Yeah.
So Pauline has sent in a question, thank you very much. She says, her daughter gave up ballet. What positives could you give her to get back involved?
Oh, wow. Where to start? Everything from health benefits to being musical to meeting people, having it's good for your coordination of everything. You get to make friends at the ballet.
Right, and you've travelled around the world, is that right?
Yeah, as a professional, of course. In a ballet company, we get to travel all over the place. We have tours to China, America, all around Europe. We travel a lot, and I get to see a lot of the world, which is a really nice thing too.
Yeah. So personally, as a dancer for you, what challenges have you overcome?
Well, you've got to overcome your personal limitations. Every body is made differently.
Yeah.
And like my coaches, they're like artists in a way, with sculpting a bit of clay.
Yeah.
And you got to chip off the bad bits and try and
Definitely.
mold the good bits into be better. And so every dancer has their own things to work on, trying to gain strength with and overcome their own personal limitations. I've had my own issues, trying to gain strength, gain coordination, gain balance. You have to work on your particular bits to gain strength.
Okay. So I know we've touched on this slightly, but Lindsay has asked, thank you, Lindsay, what is your exercise regime?
Just the training with the company, to be honest, apart from my own training in the gym. I mean, ballet class has everything in it a dancer needs.
Yeah.
We start at the bars. You can see the bars around the studio. We start doing bar exercises, working in the legs, working in the calves, trying to strengthen all the little muscles and find your balance. We progress into the centre where you have no bar to hold on to and find your proprioception and get your coordination.
Right.
And then you jump. And so the jumping is good for your legs particularly and your coordination and your stamina. So ballet class is the best thing for dancers to do to keep their form.
Right. Lindsay's also asked about diet, which I imagine is incredibly important.
Oh yeah, eat everything.
Okay.
And again,
Right.
I eat loads.
What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Today I had omelette. I had a bowl of cereal with nuts, lots of nuts. Nuts are great for protein and stuff.
Right.
I had, I can hardly remember, juice and water and all that stuff. But
So quite a large breakfast.
yeah.
So just going back, what made you decide ultimately that the Mariinsky Ballet was a place for you and to leave Royal Ballet?
I didn't. It chose me.
Right.
As it worked out, it wasn't even on my radar. I mean, I didn't even think it was possible for a Brit to go and work for the Mariinsky Theatre. So it wasn't something I was personally pursuing. It wasn't my own idea. I was shocked to send it to the next person. When I got offered the job with Mariinsky, it wasn't like I was expecting it. It found me rather than me finding it.
Am I correct in thinking you're the first English
That's right.
dancer there at the company? So do you feel quite honoured that?
Totally, yeah. It's
you've got
a
that
wonderful,
title?
wonderful privilege. A total privilege.
And
yeah.
you're recently promoted to principal dancer.
Right, yeah.
So what's next for you?
Keep improving. I mean, any rank in the Mariinsky carries a weight of expectation, but particularly principal, I have to. That's a real weight of expectation on my shoulders, which I want to rise to.
Yes.
I don't pretend that I'm completely 100% there yet, but I'm going to keep working as best as I can and improve and become the best dancer I can possibly be with my form and physique and what I've been given. I have to use to the best of my ability, and that's my next step forward.
Right. And so what advice do you have for young dancers that are either starting or partway through their career and maybe feeling, when will I ever get there? What advice do you have for them?
Grit your teeth, get down and work.
Right.
Don't get stuck on following your colleagues, your friends. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. You have to just do your work for yourself.
Right.
And put your blinkers on, get in the studio and work.
Right.
It's taken me 12 years from becoming a professional dancer to becoming a principal, which is a long time in ballet terms.
Yeah.
I mean, I started when I was 8 and now 31. I'm still improving and learning and growing.
Yes.
It's a slow process for some people. Some it's fast, but for myself it's been a very slow process. And so, eventually the tortoise will arrive eventually. You've got to keep going.
Right.
Just keep going. Don't give up.
So one last question. What's your favourite part about living in Russia?
Oh wow, there's so many things. I mean, Russia's a great place. Lovely people.
Yeah.
People don't understand how nice people are in Russia. They're so friendly.
Yeah.
Lovely people, lovely culture, and the architecture, the art, and the city. Petersburg is a beautiful city. It's a gorgeous place to live. I love living there. It's beautiful.
Oh, great. Well, thank you very much for your time and
welcome.
for letting us sneak peek into your rehearsals. Yeah, and thank you for watching and thank you for all your questions.
Yeah. Right.
Great. Thank you very much.